Hi, this is Kathy Ceceri, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an origami firefly with a actual light that flashes on and off using Chibitronics white fade LEDs. They're new animating LEDs, and it has an on-off switch that also serve as the firefly's antennas. Let me just explain for a minute what all these markings mean. I've got numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the order of the folds. The difference between the dashed lines and the dotted lines is whether it's a mountain fold that's going to be like a mountain or a valley fold that's going to come up on the sides. You're going to flip it over. You're going to make a mountain fold. So second is we're going to make these valley folds, and we're going to bring this corner up to here. And you might want to leave a tiny little gap because that's where we want the light to come through. So maybe just a hair's breadth off of hitting that exact point there. I'm going to do the same thing over here and just leave the tiniest little gap so that the light is slightly more visible when our firefly is lit up. Let's see. There we go. If you have a bone folder, it's good to use to make all your creases nice and sharp all the way along. Okay, so right now we want to make one crease that is actually just going to be helpful when we are trying to match things up later. So we're just folding our diamond in half here. That's crease number 3. And then crease number 4 is we're going to start to make the wings. So they kind of go at an angle that doesn't match anything, but again, I have this mountain fold line here, and we can just follow that. And match it on the other side. All right, so those are our wings. Now we're going to bring down the head. The first is a valley fold along this line up here. And then we're going to double it. There's one line right up here. And then one last step is to flip this over, and number 7 mountain fold is going to go like this. This is where we want this edge to match up with that crease we made in the middle. All right, and on this side, because we want these two parts of the back, these back flaps, to meet. And that's your whole firefly. Now we're ready to do the circuit. First, let's just do our negative part of our circuit. So I'm peeling off some of the fabric tape, and what I like to do is peel the tape off the backing and then bend the backing down, stick it where I want to begin, and this is going to go under the battery. So I'm going to stick it right where the battery is going to go, and then I just pull the backing as I'm laying out my tape. that is the first part of our negative part of our circuit. I'm just going to cut that off right there. And again, you can take your bone folder and smooth that down. The fabric tape is much sturdier for bending, but it doesn't lay as flat as the copper tape. All right, now I'm going to do the other half of the negative circuit, and this is going to go under our LED. So I'm going to overlap where the LED is going to go, and it's going to go to the negative end of the LED sticker. And now I've got to make a turn here. Now we can stick our battery on, and I'm going to take about a 2-inch section of the fabric tape, and I'm going to make a little loop with the sticky side out, and that's how we're going to attach our battery right there. That's probably a little too long. So I'm just looping it together with the sticky side out. And I'm going to put that right over that part of the tape to make sure we have a nice connection. The glue, of course, is also conductive, so that will help. And then I'm going to put my battery on here with the positive side up, indicated by that plus sign. And then let's put our white fade LED. And again, you want that negative side to go over the tape that's there. So we've got our negative side of our circuit all done, and then we just need one more piece. Just a short piece there to connect the top of the LED sticker to the top of the battery to make the positive side of our circuit. So I'm going to stick it over the sticker there, which works just fine, and then stick this to the top of the battery. And now I'm going to just take another piece of the conductive tape and just test that our circuit is working. I'm just going to use this to be like the switch. I'm going to take the conductive side, I'm leaving the backing on right there, and just attach that. So I'm connecting these two pieces. This is where our switch is going to go. And if our switch is closing the circuit, just like this, we see that that works. Before we close up our origami Firefly again, we want to put some regular clear tape over some of our conductive tape in order to insulate it, because when we fold it up, the two lines might be touching each other, and that would cause a short circuit. So there's on the template very faint lines where I put some tape, and I'm just going to follow those. I'm going to put it right over here and just rub that down, and you won't even really see it. And I'll put some over here. And I'm going to put one more piece over here. And this piece will also keep our switch from staying on the whole time, because our switch is going to then come down over the tape here and not close that circuit. And then where the conductive tape is exposed, it will close the circuit. Now we are ready for the last part, which is putting the switch in the back. It's made out of cardstock, so it's a little stiffer, which will help it make a nice connection with the conductive tape. And we're going to be using some foam strips to give it a little height, and so it will stay the same distance when we're moving it, since our origami is made out of paper that's much more flexible. And what I'm going to be using are some squares and some lines from Barely Art, which you can also get on the Chibitronic website. So I will start off putting some on the switch here, and I'm going to be using these little squares, and I'm just going to put 4 across on the place where the conductive tape is going to go. And you've got some backing paper on the top. You're going to leave that on. You don't need to take that off for this section. All right, not the neatest, but that will work. And then I'm just going to take some conductive tape and put it right over there. And for this, I will take the backing paper off. And I'm going to stick it onto the paper across the foam and come down again. And just cut that off right there. Okay. So that is the switch, and then I'm going to take a couple of the lines that they have that look like this, and whoops, just put that right up here. That just keeps everything at the same distance. And you are going to keep the backing paper on for these pieces as well. So now we're going to take some more of these lines, and we're going to make a little enclosure to hold this. Some of these get peeled off and some do not. So it's going to be the two diagonal sides here, where we take the backing paper off, and these three here. And we're going to leave the paper on here so that it doesn't grab our switch. So you're going to put the switch in here, and then you are going to take the cover, and that's going to go right on here. When you're finished, the on-off switch, which are the Firefly's antennas, should be able to slide easily up and down. These back flaps will serve as legs to hold it slightly upright, and hopefully with the switch on, it should flash on and off.